Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Advisory. This week's theme is going to be on reasoning and how we understand inferences. So, inferences are informed assumptions, right? So, the last series of lessons, we talked about assumptions, what they are, and how to combat them, right? But inferences are informed assumptions because you're making these assumptions based on evidence, right? Based on things that you already know, okay? So, it's similar to a conclusion or a deduction. And it's important when reading a story or text. So, like, for example, sometimes if you're reading something and you don't understand a word, you can look in the context or the other sentences in the paragraph to make an inference about what that word might mean based on the other words in the sentence. Okay. So, it's very helpful in all of your subjects to learn how to reason and how to make inferences. Okay. So, learning. Okay. And so in this series of lessons, right, that we'll do this week, you will heighten your critical thinking skills by making inferences. In today's world, like I said, like schools and workplaces increasingly require you to create your own IDs and answers. So that's what we're doing today, basically this week. Okay, just looking into what that looks like from your day to day. Okay. So this guy, his name's Boyan Slat, was snorkeling on vacation. But instead of finding fish, all he found was plastic trash. So Boyan was in high school. He was in high school doing a science project to research the ocean pollution and find out that most environments do not think it is possible to clean up the ocean. Environmentalists, sorry. So Boyan went looking for his own solution. So instead of using expensive and dirty boats to collect the trash, he developed a system of no net floating barriers that use the ocean's own currents to trap the trash. So this was his idea that he came up with because these environmentalists were saying that it was impossible, right? So he said, "No, I think I could do this," and he went out of his way to find a way that would work. So his idea is catching on now because because he was initially willing to push past those very simple answers that were given, right? So this is just an example of somebody in the world developing a system based on just asking more questions, right? Making inferences based on the observations that he already made. Okay. So after the series of lessons, you will understand what inferences are. You will make connections between facts, and then you will look for new answers. Okay, then we got this guy. Ooh, this guy. This guy, the power of inference. Okay, so when he was a student in college, he noticed that his classmates liked sharing pictures online. People were all across the country, spread out, friends that you had in high school or now going to different schools. So he thought, after noticing that people liked belonging to different social groups, clubs, and sororities, that he could create something that would connect people, right? So he built, from his observations he built a logical argument, right? People like sharing pictures online. People like belonging to social groups. And if you had an online platform to share pictures and belong to social groups, then that would be something that people could enjoy, right? It's a platform that people would utilize. Okay, so he made a guess based on facts and this logical argument that he should create this platform called Facebook. Today is worth $33 billion. And Facebook has more than 1 billion members around the world, right? So it was kind of a good idea. And some could argue against that, but that's okay. He's a billionaire now. He's got all his money. And so he took some facts and drew a conclusion based on the evidence and reason, and this is called an inference. So based on the world around him, he was able to make these observations and say, this is something that this generation would benefit from, okay? And therefore, he is now rolling in the dough. So we're going to watch a quick video about this topic, about making inferences and what that looks like. Okay, so inference, the word inference is just a big word, right? That means conclusion or judgment. So we're making judgments, we're making conclusions based on certain data, certain evidence. Okay, so observations occur when we can see something happening, right? In contrast, inferences are what we figure out based on an experience. So helping students understand what information is implied, so you see the information that's implied but not directly stated, this will improve your skill in drawing conclusions and making inferences. Okay, so these are needed for all school subjects. You're going to be asked to be doing this from all the time in school and in the real world, in the workplace, after school. So drawing conclusions refers to information that is implied or inferred, right? This means that not everything is clearly stated. So in this video, you didn't see anything clearly stated. I mean, if you could read bird or if you could understand bird, then maybe it is another conversation. But what is something that the little birds inferred about the bigger bird in this video? Okay, this is something we can think about just by just by observing the video. What are some of the things little birds inferred? Okay, that's just something I want you to think about. Okay, talk about it as a class if you have the time. Answer this question. What is something that the little birds inferred about the bigger bird? And let's just talk about it. Okay, have a great day, guys. We'll see you next time.